And because Baird is employee-owned, you can trust that we're a true partner with a long-term interest in what's best for you.
Imagine the power of you and Baird. Visit BairdSeattle.com.
Boy, am I glad to be done with my holiday shopping.
Oh, I know.
And now I just want to relax.
Me too. Well, except there's one more store we should check out.
Oh, no way.
Because this week, we can get a Samsung, LG, or Sony TV at an incredible price.
Really? Where?
At Video Only's year-end clearance sale. They're really cutting deals.
Because the holidays are over?
Yep. So this is our chance to get what we wanted for Christmas.
Are the prices really that good?
Yes. For 7 days they are. And Video Only has those top-rated models we were thinking about all on sale.
All right. The best stuff cheap is worth a trip.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or dishwashers, but you will find the best deals on HD TVs, Blu-rays, cameras, camcorders, and home theater systems. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
You'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma. Video Only.
Hi, it's Craig Olson, president of Washington Energy Services. Are you planning a home upgrade? At Washington Energy, we deliver great products at affordable prices, hassle-free installation, and my 100% satisfaction guarantee. Plus, this month, save 15% on heat pumps, siding, windows, and more. Don't subcontract through a box store. Discover what working with a quality contractor from start to finish is all about. Call us at 1-800-398-HOME or WashingtonEnergy.com. Some restrictions apply.
In the 1980s, when Microsoft was introducing Windows, Keel Mortgage had already helped many Northwest neighbors open the door to home ownership.
And still today, Keel Mortgage continues to help families invest in the generations to come. I'm Laura Keel. If you too have been here a while and are looking to get the most from your hard-earned equity, we would love to turn your dreams into reality. Call us today, 888-778-KIEL.
Meet Katie. Katie played soccer for 10 years, even became a college referee, until the day she was forced to limp off the pitch because of a hole in her knee cartilage. She was facing surgery until she met with Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Stem Cell Clinic and learned that her own stem cells might be the cure.
Not only am I completely symptom-free, but I was able to resume 100% of the activities, and I've got some pretty cool things that I'm going to try and check off my bucket list because I know that my knee is not going to be a debilitating concern for me.
Like what?
I'm actually planning to go and summit Mount Kilimanjaro this summer, which I don't think I ever would have been brave enough to do if I had ongoing knee problems.
I would think not.
And at 33 years old right now, I still have my whole life ahead of me to be active. It has changed my life.
Whether it's the shoulder, knee, or hip that's giving you problems, before you choose surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Learn more and hear from several patients like Katie at SeattleStemCellClinic.com. SeattleStemCellClinic.com.
Seeing is a gift that needs protecting with yearly eye exams. Find a doctor near you at ThinkAboutYourEyes.com and make an appointment today. ThinkAboutYourEyes.com.
2018 resolution, take items like silver serving sets, gold jewelry, necklaces, and chains, and diamonds, turn them over to Bellevue Rare Coins and get top dollar.
Leaks in your outside water line? I hate to say it, but that old line and hole is compromised and will leak again. Tom here for Apollo Plumbing with a solution. It's called trenchless technology. Typically, Apollo can replace your entire water line with a hole at the meter and a hole at your house, so there's no disturbance to yard or driveway. Less mess, less hassle, and with a 30-year warranty. Learn more about trenchless and find savings for drain cleaning and water heaters at ApolloPlumbing.com. That's ApolloPlumbing.com.
Carlson, Wilbur, Larson, Hannity, and Savage. Now that's a lineup. Talk Radio 570, KVI.
Welcome back to the Lars Larson Show. It's a pleasure to be with you all over the Pacific Northwest on the Radio Northwest Network. We serve the region from Idaho all the way to Bellingham, from Bellingham south to Ashland, Oregon, and Medford, of course, all the way into the central part of Oregon and Washington, in the Tri-Cities, in Spokane, in Portland and Eugene, in Bend and Corvallis. Glad to have you on board. Your calls are welcome at 866-HEY-LARS. That's 866-439-5277. A few weeks ago, I raised one of the things that I've raised 100 different times, and I said I'd like to see a work requirement for Medicaid. I've said the same thing about welfare and Section 8 and everything else. Well, then within, I don't know, it wasn't because I said it, but I was pleasantly pleased to see that the Trump administration is going to start entertaining requests from about 10 different American states
asking that there be a work requirement that goes with Medicaid. Sorry. Yeah, Medicaid, not Medicare. I want to make sure that I make the distinction. So I was pleased to see this. And then this morning I got up and I saw that the Daily Dead Fish Wrapper, the Seattle Times, had written an idiotic editorial. You know, Friday, the president had a cognition test so that his doctor could come out and tell that room full of reporters yesterday that the president did have all of his faculties in working order, and that in fact he was an exceptional patient, and they didn't like that. I wish we could do a cognition test on people like the editorial board of the Seattle Times Fish Wrapper. Here's one of the editorials that they wrote. This is the one that appeared this morning. Contrary to an administration letter, we're talking about Trump, working itself does not help improve the health of poor people. Now, I'll come back to that in a moment. Working itself does not improve the health of poor people. Again, let me come back to that in a moment. They then go on to say, Medicaid health insurance can help ailing people get healthy enough to work. The Trump administration sent a letter to all state Medicaid directors last week in response to ideas percolating in more than a dozen states to add a work requirement to Medicaid. The 52-year-old program offers free health insurance, well, meaning paid for by somebody else, to about 70 million Americans who can't afford it and aren't covered at work. This new approach, advocated by some states, follows the change 20 years ago when a work requirement was added to welfare. The Trump administration will allow states to apply for a waiver to add the new work rules. It's a cynical way to shrink the number of people with government-paid health insurance. Well, that's the first true thing in that ridiculous editorial statement by the Seattle Times Fish Wrapper. Here's why. Will it shrink the number of people? Probably. It's one of the reasons I've been asking for it. If somebody is having their health insurance paid for by fellow taxpayers who work for a living, and they are of working age, they're not physically disabled, they're not mentally disabled, if you say to them, you can only get this free medical care, free medical insurance, if you also work part-time or in a training program that leads to a job. Is that an unreasonable thing to ask for? I don't think so. I think it's perfectly reasonable. If you were helping a friend pay his rent because the friend had come to you and said, I've fallen on hard times, buddy, help me pay my rent. And you said, I can help you out for a month or two. I can probably do that. And then one day, a month or two in, you say to him, by the way, are you looking for a job? And your friend says, no, I'm not. You're paying part of my rent. I don't need to look for a job. And if you say, well, are you even on the path to a job someday? And your friend says, no, I'm not on a path. I don't intend to go find a job. There's no reason for me to. The quick question, the easy question is, would you keep paying his rent? The sensible person would say to his friend, if you're not going to help yourself, I'm not going to help you either. And that's what the government should do. It should say to people, if you aren't willing to help work, at least get yourself started on the path out of poverty, then we're not going to help you either. And when the Seattle Times says, contrary to the administration letter, working itself does not help improve the health of poor people, can you imagine anything less healthy than waking up every morning and saying, I'm not going to look for a job. I don't have to get out of bed at a certain time. I can sleep till noon if I want to. I can stay up as late as I want to because I don't have a job that I have to report to and I don't have to look for a job. I'll bet some of you even know people like that, who don't have any kind of defined schedule, who don't get up and go to a job. As far as I'm concerned, for your own personal dignity alone, I think it's valuable to go to a job. I think it keeps you healthier to wake up in the morning and have a purpose in life, especially if you're of working age. If you're between the ages of 18 and, say, 60 years old, it is very healthy for you to get up and go somewhere and have a purpose in life and feel like I'm going to go in and turn in a full day's work and I'm going to earn a paycheck and I'm going to be part of the solution to my own poverty. The Seattle Times editorial board, they need to find some new jobs. You're listening to the Radio Northwest Network and the Lars Larson Show.
Warning, this is a no PC zone. Talk Radio 570 KVI.
This week, my friends at Northwest Armory will receive the brand new Glock 19X pistol. The Glock 19X is the first crossover pistol offered by Glock. It combines the best features of...
From my friends at Best Mortgage. They are the experts in VA loans and reverse mortgages. And Best Mortgage wants to make sure you know that home equity loans are no longer deductible under the new tax law. So, you might want to call Best Mortgage, ask about rolling your equity loan into a new first mortgage, and then all your mortgage interest would still be deductible. And as I've told you, they are the VA loan experts for our veterans and active military. It's fantastic benefit that you have earned, and with that VA loan program, Best Mortgage can help you if you're buying or want to refinance. They're also reverse mortgage experts. Give them a call, Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
Doors are being slammed in your face, and bad credit is holding you back from buying a house, car, even getting a credit card. $99 can put your credit back to a 720 or higher. That's right, just $99. Bankruptcy, tax liens, judgments, and even late pays can be removed from credit reports by calling the Giving Days Foundation. A nonprofit organization is here to help. Federal law allows you to challenge each and every item on your credit report. We'll recalculate your personal credit score for only $99 and repair your personal credit for free. Just be one of the first 10 callers. Take our personal credit challenge. Get your credit score to a 720. 800-482-4094. Call now to recalculate your personal credit score for only $99 and repair your personal credit for free. Call now. 800-482-4094. Don't miss this great free credit repair. Just be one of the first 10 callers. 800-482-4094.
Cairo Radio 97.3 FM, streaming on every device from the Carter's Subaru Studios. Stories that matter, opinions that bring perspective. This is where you find out why. KIRO FM, Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by ZipRecruiter.
I'm Dave Barrett, 26,115. That's where the Dow wound up when the close of business came. That's a record finish.
Industrial's very strong. Finance very strong. Technology continues to be very strong.
Analyst Hugh Johnson, after the Dow's 322-point gain, he says there could be more days like this.
We know that everybody's going to get a tax break and that their personal income is going to go higher. Their wages going to go a little bit higher, and they're going to spend that money. That's going to help all the consumer discretionary stocks.
Seaport Securities trader Ted Weisberg.
It's going to be corporate earnings and the what appears to be the very positive byproducts of this new tax bill that will ultimately drive stock prices.
Another reason for the rise today, Apple said it will build another corporate campus, and says CBS business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
The company said that it will contribute more than $350 billion to the U.S. economy over the next 5 years by adding those 20,000 new jobs and also by investing in domestic suppliers.
More big money is at stake, with Congress trying to figure out a way to keep the government running. Here's correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
With hopes of a broad spending agreement materializing this week dashed, it seems the best shot at avoiding a funding lapse at midnight Friday is the passage of yet another short-term extension. It would be the fourth such measure in the past 5 months. But conservatives in the House Freedom Caucus say GOP leaders shouldn't count on their votes. House Speaker Paul Ryan is offering a sweetener to attract support from Democrats. 6 years worth of funding for the Children's Health Insurance Program.
The South is still dealing with ice and snow and a tough go on the roads. 8 deaths attributed to this storm system. In New Orleans, WWL's Dave Cohen.
Stepping outside, you find a thick layer of ice on the sidewalks. It's also covering the streets, homes, cars, and everything else. Hundreds of miles of interstate, including I-10, I-55, and I-20, are shut down because so many vehicles spun out, flipped over, and crashed into each other.
A freeze warning is up in Florida. It extends from the Panhandle all the way to Orlando and Daytona Beach. 10,000 deaths linked to drunk driving in this country every year. They might be prevented. It's according to experts at the National Academies of Sciences, and that's if the blood alcohol limit was lowered across the country. They say the better one would be 0.05. Currently, it's 0.08. This is CBS News.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified candidates for businesses of all sizes. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/CBS News.
He earned the nickname Danimal for his competitive spirits.
He was a fearless officer who was not afraid to live life to the fullest.
More on the life and passing of Deputy Daniel McCartney coming up. But first, Cairo Radio real-time traffic.
Well, the freeways are actually holding up pretty well right now. No major accidents in the way, but an earlier stall, West 90 on the floating bridge, is cleared away, and the backup's completely gone as well, so our floating bridges are both wide open. Our drive time on the east side from Bellevue to Renton's about 20 minutes, so starting to fill in right around Newcastle. Northbound 405 is braking just briefly in Renton around 167, and in Parkland there's a crash reported on State Route 7 near 112, partially blocking. Also an accident near Enumclaw, partially blocking State Route 169 at 416. Cairo Radio real-time traffic, I'm Kimmy Klein.
Cairo Radio News, 97.3 FM.
He was a Boy Scout, grew up playing baseball and football, and always had a mind for community service. At 18 years old, Daniel McCartney joined the Navy, serving as a satellite communications officer in Afghanistan and returning to numerous awards and commendations. But his aunt, Judy Mursky, says his focus was always on his family first.
Daniel's proudest achievement was in having married Sierra and helping to produce 3 beautiful sons, Titus, Tate, and Traxton.
Deputy McCartney lost his life in a shooting last week while he was responding to a home invasion call. Mursky says her nephew's devotion to his community and his family will live on.
He tucked his boys in for bed every night and read to them before he left for work. He loved daily wrestling matches, tactical Nerf wars, building Legos, and playing video games with them. Daniel and Sierra are soulmates.
That memorial is continuing now, and it's streaming live at mynorthwest.com. The WSU community is mourning quarterback Tyler Helinski today. Campus police found the 21-year-old dead from a self-inflicted gunshot after he failed to show up for practice yesterday. Head coach Mike Leach and teammates have been offering messages of grief online. Leach says the teammates have also been offered the number to the National Suicide Hotline. Some movement in Olympia today for a bill that would ban bump stocks like the one used in the Las Vegas massacre. It's been approved by the Senate Law and Justice Committee. In the House, a bill aimed at reducing the wage gap between men and women has passed, moving it on to the Senate. In years past, that one's always died in the chamber. But with Democrats now in control of that one, it could be different this year. A look at your forecast now.
We'll top out in the 50s, breezy conditions and still wet weather for your drive home. Quite a bit of rain, actually. And then tapering off tomorrow morning, but still showers off and on throughout the day in the 40s and 50s, and a chance for thunder. I'm Cairo 7, pinpoint meteorologist Nick Allard.
55 degrees now in Seattle. I'm Kim Shepard.
On demand with the Cairo Radio app. Cairo Radio News, 97.3 FM.
The Big Lead is brought to you by 3010 Weight Loss for Life.
The Dory Monson Show on Cairo Radio. This is The Big Lead.
Coming to you from the Carter Subaru Studios. Welcome to our top stories this hour. As we've been chronicling, there is an awful lot of crime running rampant in this region. We told you about the murder in Lake City yesterday morning. A reported gang rape. 4 guys gang raping a 16-year-old girl in Ballard. And then in Edmonds yesterday, there was an attack on a jogger. Let's get right to our top story.
The Big Lead. Top story.
She was just out for her usual morning run yesterday when a guy came up and attacked Jacqueline Goss-Lacasse, and she joins us here on Cairo Radio. Hey, Jacqueline, thanks for coming on with me this afternoon.
Yep.
Tell me what happened on your morning run yesterday.
I was running on my regular route. I was on my last lap, and everything was normal. And somebody came up behind me, grabbed me by the shoulders, shook me around, and threw me down. It was really scary for me. I was screaming and kicking, and that was enough. I guess he got scared off by, who might, I guess, react at that point, or how he might be heard. But very scary experience and completely out of the blue, very random.
What time of day was this?
6:47. in the morning, and I just looked at my watch. I just tried to make sure I got home for my husband so he could take the kids so he could go to work and I could watch the kids. Started the day. It was dark, but I mean, I was running on a well-lit street, and there was trash trucks and school buses and people around. So
this one, it just hits home for me to hear your story because I have a wife and 3 daughters, and they are all very active runners. And in Edmonds, you expect that is a somewhat safe community. And did you ever have any fears or trepidation about going for your runs?
No. I mean, I've had lots of people tell me, make sure you're safe when you run, and kind of give me warnings. Just general, people want to know that I'm safe, but I've never felt threatened in any way. And everybody has been really, really good about, saying, hey, we saw this and we're going to be more alert. And so it's a good community.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So tell me a little more about what happened. So did you hear any sound before this guy grabbed you?
I had my headphones in. I hadn't seen anybody running towards me. I was kind of anticipating. I run the same route, like I said, every day, so I see the same people. I mean, I knew I was coming up on one of the runners who I always see at the same time, but I didn't hear anything. And then it was real quick. I guess I felt somebody kind of coming up behind me, and I assumed it was another jogger just going to pass me, but he was really fast. And it just felt a little bit weird, and I didn't really quite register that it was really happening until his hands were on my shoulders and he was kind of pushing me down. So, it was very unexpected, I guess.
When something like that just hits you completely out of the blue, what goes through your mind? Do you remember what you were thinking in the first moments of this?
I mean, nobody ever grabs my shoulders except for my husband. So who's grabbing my shoulders? I guess I thought somebody was playing a joke on me, like a bad joke, but I thought maybe somebody was teasing me because they knew I was running. I mean, everybody's seen me. Everybody knows I run that route. So I thought it was a joke. And I mean, when I started screaming, I didn't really even realize it was my own voice. I still had the radio playing in my ears. So, it was just kind of instinctual instincts, I guess, taking over.
Was he trying to take you to the ground?
Oh, he did take me to the ground.
He did? Okay.
Yep. He started off in the back, and he was catching up to me, so I guess he must have had to catch up to me, and then I was running faster because somebody was grabbing onto me. He took me to my back, basically onto the ground, and I was screaming up at him, so kind of kicking from the ground, but I definitely wasn't, expected to get knocked over like that.
Did you, reflecting back, it wasn't an attempted robbery? Are you convinced it was an attempted sexual assault?
I don't know what his intent is. I'm mostly confused about because I don't get it. It's in the middle of it's right on the side of the road. It's a busy street. I didn't have anything like a purse or anything dangling on me. I have like a fanny pack, basically, that's small, and it kind of slips up under my sweatshirt. So I don't know what I could have been carrying for him to steal. I don't even wear jewelry on my run, so it was just, I don't know what I could have looked like or what I could have been carrying, I guess.
Yeah. You screamed, you kicked, you fought. My wife and I, we had all of our daughters when they were in middle school and high school. They did all that self-defense training, and that's what they learned is you never give in. You do everything you can. You go after the eyes, you go after the groin, you scream at the top of your lungs. Were you doing all that stuff?
I've never done self-defense training, but I definitely fought back, and I didn't realize I had that fight in me until it was happening. I'm considering taking some kind of class in the future, but I definitely encourage everybody to fight their hardest if anything like that happens.
Yeah, and I had a woman on my show last year, and she had been sexually assaulted in the restroom at Golden Gardens, and she described the extent of the fight in her and she just kept screaming at the guy, "Not today, bleeper!"
Yeah.
And she did. She fought for her life, literally, and it's nice to hear that kind of instinct takes over when you're in the midst of something like you experienced yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a relief.
Yeah. So now what? You love my wife tells me all the time her runs are her quiet time, her spiritual time, and to have it shaken like it's been for you, that's got to be difficult going forward, I imagine.
Definitely, I'm a little bit intimidating, but I'm still going to continue running. Like your wife says, I mean, it's my thing. I don't have coffee in the morning. I go for a run. It gets me going. I feel really good to do it. So I definitely don't want to be intimidated by it. And if anything, everybody in Edmonds is so wide-eyed now.
Yeah.
I feel like at least there's, people looking out their windows and they're aware. So I feel like maybe it's safer now. And I guess in terms of, maybe not listening to my music as loud or being, extra aware. But you can't really, be preventative of something that, you're not sure if it's going to happen again or not,
Yeah. Are you going to carry any kind of self-defense in the future?
My dad, of course, that morning, my dad and my husband are both like, what are we giving you to protect yourself with? But then, of course, you've got to carry it. So, I mean, my dad has given me all sorts of knives and tasers and things like this. I guess, as long as you're carrying it in the front, because how do you know if they're attacking you from the front or the back? So.
Yeah, and like I said, I related to this as a husband and as a father, since my daughter's run too. What was your husband and your dad's reaction to this?
Well, my husband, he was at the house, and they had, the cops all in Edmonds had kind of blocked off some of the roads because he ran away, and they were trying to find him. So my husband actually didn't know what happened until he went out to ask a cop that was in our road, because I was only blocks from home, hey, well, what's going on? Why are you in the street? And the cop was the one who told my husband, somebody's been attacked. So he called me, and I thought he was calling me because he was telling me, hey, I need to get to work.
Yeah.
But he was, looking for me, making sure I was okay, and it was me that had been hurt, so, yeah.
Jeez, what a nightmare for everybody involved. Well, I'm glad you came through it relatively unscathed. I know it's frightening. Do we know, were you able to get a look at the guy? Do you have any kind of description for people to keep their eye out for?
I didn't get that great of a look at the guy. I did identify his clothes really well, and it looks like from the, the cameras and things that they found that matched up really, really well. So, I mean, I mostly looked at what he was wearing. White man. He was, I want to say, about 5'10" to 6 foot, just from where his hands landed on from behind. I was on the ground for most of the time that I saw him, so mostly I saw his legs. So, he was larger on top than he was on bottom, and he had tapered pant legs, like with sweatpants. Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. Well, like I said, I'm glad that it wasn't worse physically. I know it's traumatic, but I appreciate you helping get the word out for all of your neighbors in your Edmonds community to keep an eye out for people like that.
Yep, anything to help.
All right. Jacqueline, thanks for coming on with me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you. Jacqueline Goss-Lacasse attacked on her morning jog in Edmonds yesterday. And as I said, this is a difficult week